Welcome everyone. This is the Counting Sheep podcast. My name is Ruth and this is episode 8. Welcome to my backyard of my farm that I have with my husband in Vermont. We have 4 sheep, 10 chickens, and a golden retriever and a house cat. And we use our sheep for fiber. And this podcast is about what I do with that fiber and other fibers. Mostly crocheting, lots of knitting. I also spin, and I also get up to quite a bit of shenanigans around the state of Vermont to share with you. And today is an absolute beautiful day in Vermont. I call one of these days a Banner Vermont Day. It's blue skies, lovely temperature. There's a hint of fall in the air, and so there's a lot of hints of making and kind of, I don't know, it seems like this time of year people start jamming on the accelerator. Things start to speed up after the summer months. I feel like I'm always on the go, so I always have something to do, but definitely I feel that vibe too, where things start to speed up and you feel the nip in the air, and it kind of, it's invigorating. So let's leave it at that. So I don't have any finished objects this go around with my podcast, but I do have a lot of things to show. And I also wanted to say it's pretty much, we're pretty in gear with festival time up here in Vermont. And my husband and I actually, he and I went to one festival, an art festival up in Waterbury, Vermont, on this past weekend. I didn't get any footage from that because it was quite crowded, and I find it hard to video when there's people passing by around me and in front of me. But I did manage to score some really neat stuff from that festival, one of which is like a hanging planter that was made by a potter. And then I also got some local honey, which I love to get, and also a little beeswax votive. I like to burn candles towards the fall, so that was very nice. The other festival that I went to was just yesterday. It was called the Taste of Vermont, and I do have some footage at the end. I actually sat with my local yarn shop ladies and we demo spinned for the crowds. So it's nice because when you're a demonstrator you can get in for free and take advantage of all the great stuff that's there for the Taste of Vermont. They have a lot of food vendors, a lot of local artisans of the area, and those proceeds from that particular festival went to help out Ludlow, Vermont, who experienced quite some damage with the summer floods this year. And then the other thing my husband and I went to was last weekend. We took a day drive over to Meredith, New Hampshire, which is right on Lake Winnipesaukee in New Hampshire. And they have a sculpture installation there. It's actually a sculpture walk, where you walk from sculpture to sculpture. And each sculpture is done by a different artist. And a lot of them were different mediums. That could be metal, iron, clay. And so I do have some, I took pictures of that. I didn't actually film anything, but I did do pictures, so I'll put that at the end too. Alright, so I'm going to soldier on into crochet first, and I am going to show first my progress on my Airy Fairy cardigan. If you haven't been here, I am working on a design pattern by Lilla Bjorn, and this is actually the picture of the cardigan on the pattern. And I am making mine in Saona. The colorway is Notes, and this is from Wooldreamers in Portugal. It's 50% merino and 50% cotton. That is the color right there. It's a nice cream color. And I'm happy to report that I managed to get the body of the sweater completed. hold it up here, and the ribbing, the finishing that goes all the way around the cardigan. It starts on the right front down here, and you do the buttonhole band. You can see these little buttonholes in here, and you work this all the way around the neck, all the way down the other side, and all the way around the bottom. It does feel like it's never ending, this particular, but I have never done an edging like this before, and it's quite pretty. So I am planning on blocking this cardigan, so it will lay flat eventually. It's puffing up just a little bit, but I managed to get it pretty even there. This is front posts and back posts, if you're into that kind of thing. It's a textured type of crochet. This is the inside of the cardigan up close, and then here's the exterior. Also pretty cool. And so I now only have the sleeves to do. So from here on down, and the pattern, it looks like it's like just a 3/4 sleeve. It looks like she just stops at the elbow. But I do have quite a bit of this yarn left. I have just under four balls left, and each ball is about 240 yards. It is a fingering weight. Yeah, so I think I might make my sleeves long on this. So yeah, this is really fun, and it's addicting, and it just you just want to keep going. It's like potato chip. You can't eat just one; you got to have more. So yeah, so this one's kind of fun, really fun, and highly recommend the pattern. I am using a 2.25 millimeter needle, or hook rather. Sorry, it just jolted the whole table there. It's a problem with this table. It kind of is a little unstable. So yeah, so the Saona is really nice yarn. I got mine at the Woolly Thistle. They have other colors, which I'm tempted to make something in another color. But I have so many things on the go right now. I'm sure you can agree that I should probably hold off on buying more of this yarn, even though it's just so it's so nice feeling and all. But yeah, so maybe by the next podcast I'll have the sleeves done, I'll have the whole thing done to show you, and then I'll model it for you. But yeah, highly recommend that crochet project. So I haven't got any, I mentioned I haven't got any finished objects this time, and that's because I got wholly distracted with starting another crochet project, and because of the intricacy of it, it just held my attention so much that I spent a lot of time on it. But it is by another crochet designer that I follow. Her brand name is Outstanding Crochet, but her real name is Natalia Kononova. And this is one of her latest patterns, I believe. It's come up on her feed just recently, and this is called the Prairie Bag. This is a picture of it. So really cool. This is called embossed crocheting or overlaid crochet, and something I haven't done a lot of, and I'm always into looking for new ways of doing crochet. And let me tell you, talk about addicting. This is not for the faint of heart, but it is for the adventurous, and I've had a lot of fun with it. And it's not hard, it's just different. And that's what I say to a lot of people when they tell me that they can't do something, because it might just be the fact that they haven't done it before, they're not experienced in the particular technique, and so they just need to take their time. I find that's kind of 9 times out of 10 that's what you need to do. So I got my yarn from Jimmy Bean Wool. I did buy one of the recommended yarns. This is a 100% mercerized cotton, and this is Catona. And I made mine in blue and yellow because I like these two colors together. And it's a very, when the cotton is mercerized, it really has a nice sheen to it. So it's really coming out wonderful, as you will see. But there were a couple of rows, and I think one row I had to rip back twice because I don't know where my head was, but it wasn't in the game. But anyway, I'll show you this now. Let me just pull these out. Yeah. So I love the yellow against the blue. It's just so sunny and bright. And so the other side is the same. Beginning of the row is on the end here, and the bottom you just start as one long chain and go round, making an oval. And the pattern is really well written, and there's a chart that goes with it too, but I decided to go with the written pattern for myself because some of the symbols on the pattern, I guess you just have to get used to them, and I'm not quite used to the symbols yet of all these different stitches that are in front and back, and also how to decrease and increase and that sort of thing. So, but a beautiful, beautiful design. Beautiful design. I can't wait for it to be done. But I'm enjoying the process so much. So much so that, like I said, no finished objects this week because this is what I've been doing. But very, very cool. You know, something just kind of grabs you and it transports you to another dimension. This is what this project did for me. I am using a 3mm hook. I believe the bottom we started off with a smaller hook. I think it was a 2.75 or 2.5 on the bottom. And then when you start doing the embossed work, you switch up to a 3mm hook. The other thing, the pattern is rated on an intermediate level, just so you know. And I definitely think that's a good rating for it. Yeah, definitely. But you know, like I said, if you take it slow, it's something that is definitely within the realm of possibility. All right, so that's all for what's on my hooks. I wanted to share something that I've been looking at to do coming up to start. I recently got a hold of PomPom's Crochet Anthology, so this book. And it is a compilation of past crochet designs that they've had in their magazine. So, and I think I have quite a number of these. Like I bought yarn to make this, and I think I shared that several podcasts ago that I was going to make this top, and I was actually swatching for it as well. But the one I have in mind to make now, since the season is coming on, are these fingerless mitts. And those are called Filix mitts. So Filix mitts. And the kind of the weight of the yarn that they for this project is a little kind of on the odd side, I want to say. It's a very lightweight fingering, so but not a lace, so it's kind of in between. And I went stash diving because that's what I want to do now, is use up a lot of my stash that I've accumulated. And I found this lace and nylon combination, and it's 80% Corriedale Polworth wool, and 20% nylon. And this was dyed by a dyer, I don't think she dyes anymore, Crafternoon Treats. And the name of this particular colorway is Best Silk Lingerie. But this is a lace weight, so it has 800 meters for 100 grams. So that's quite a lot of yardage for this one skein. So I thought maybe the mittens would look good if I held this with a mohair. And I was kind of messing around with mohairs. I have this pink, which I thought would go really well. But there is like a peachy pink in the skein. So I wasn't so sure whether that would go well. And then I also have this on hand as well to be held with the skein. And this is kind of a, I want to say, kind of like a squash yellow, but it does have some orange bits in it and green and some off-white. So this could well go with it too, but I don't want it to overpower it either. So let me know what you think. There is some pink in this. I don't know if you can tell by the camera. And I thought, gosh, with the mohair held together, this is going to be a nice strong mitt, but also a very warm one. And I don't think it's going to obliterate any of that texture that's in there. But yeah, tell me what you think about that. Something I want to start pretty soon before my hands start to get cold. So the hook size that they call for is B and C. 2.25 or 2.75, either or. Actually, it's a 2.5 millimeter crochet hook, but they're saying that there's no US equivalent for that. But you can get a 2.5 millimeter crochet hook, because I own one. But anyway, so that's neither here nor there. So that's upcoming projects. So I'm going to move on to knitting now. And I managed to do some knitting on my mother's Licorice Vest. If you've been here, you know I've been working on the Licorice Vest from Joji Locatelli. And this project is for my mother. She requested this vest. And I made one for myself. She saw it on me and she said, could I have one? Why not? So here it is. This is both the one I did for myself and the one and this one are out of my own sheep's yarn. Sorry about the scraping on the chair, but I'm backing up so I can show you this. I'm almost to the ribbing on the bottom, but yeah, loving the texture on this. It shows up so much better on the white than it does on my gray one that I showed a couple podcasts ago. So, and the back is the same. It's just has the higher neckline. Yeah. So once I get to the bottom, we'll do. I think it's a 1x2. Yeah, 1x1 ribbing. Yeah. So and it's nice and stretchy, so it doesn't bind down here. And then, obviously, there's the same treatment around the armholes and on the neck as well. So, another one I should have done by now, but like I said, the old Prairie Bag caught my interest. And what does that say about you when you're that easily distracted? But anywho, that's been a lot of fun. This is a very interesting knit too. Keeps your attention. I think I mentioned before, she has nice charting in here, and also nice instructions. So a very well written pattern. So that's my progress on the Licorice Vest. And then of course I want to show you something that caught my eye. But this particular pattern is by one of our local designers here in New England, Mary Jane Mucklestone. And I love sunflowers. And so when I saw these, it's not a new pattern by any stretch. It was in a book called Maine Knits, which is very difficult to get now, but you can buy each individual pattern, and you can also get the ebook on Ravelry. So, but the actual physical book is difficult to get. And if you can find one, they're astronomically priced for some reason. I don't know why. But anyway, these are the mittens. And you may ask, gee, 2 mitten projects, Ruth, why? I'm like, I have a habit of losing my mittens and my gloves. And it happens every year. And I think it's because the pockets in my jacket are very shallow. And that's where I tend to put my mittens when I'm not using them. And then when I put my jacket on, they fall out. And I don't hear them fall, and they're history. So what I need to do is what they do with the little kids, is just make a chain between the two, and I'll just wear them inside the sleeves of my coat so that they don't go anywhere. So you laugh, but I really am considering doing that. So, but anyway, so the sunflower mittens, I am planning to cast these on in this color. I have a nice skein cozy around it because I like to keep my skeins nice and neat. So I will take this off for a second. This is a brown. This is for the main color. And this is shepherd's wool. And shepherd's wool's been around for a while, but I discovered them back probably around 2010, 2011, when I used to stomp around Michigan. This is from Michigan, and it's from Stonehedge Fiber Mill in Michigan. And this is the color brown. Is a worsted wool, and there is 250 yards on this to 4 ounces. But this is a very nice fiber mill, and this feels so lovely in the hand. And then I just couldn't go with a plain color for the actual sunflower, because when I'm knitting in the fall, I see all the fall colors right out my door, and I will share them with you. Trust me. But anyway, this is what I see out my back door in the fall, and it's almost just as brilliant as this. So this to me speaks all sorts of colors of fall as well as sunflowers. So I thought this would look really good as the sunflower with this. And funny enough, I've had this in my stash for a while. It's a worsted weight, and it's by Abstract Fiber Yarn. I think I got it as a monthly club of some sort. And when it came, I thought to myself, what am I going to do with this? I had no idea what I was going to do with this yarn. And so this is just an example of waiting until the yarn tells you what it wants to be. It is 100% superwash merino, 218 yards to 4 ounces, so these guys are very similar in weight. Can't get much closer than that. And the color is warm. That's the color name. Superwash Merino from Abstract Fiber. Yeah, so I am so psyched to get those started. As a matter of fact, I almost started them, but then I said, no, you got to get that bag done, Ruth. You got to just slow your roll. But I do enjoy these things. It's like, if you don't get enjoyment out of what you do, then why bother, right? So, and then I have more stuff to share with you guys. So I think it's all good in the end. And if you don't think so, tell me otherwise, or don't. I don't care. But anyway, that's gonna be my sunflower mittens, and maybe I'll have them started by the next time. So, but I thought I'd just tell you what's in the works here, especially since I don't have anything finished. The other thing I wanted to share with you is, so if you notice, a lot of the projects that I have are take some mind, gray matter, and especially the Prairie Bag takes a lot of concentration. And I have a little knit group that I go to at our local library, and matter of fact, it's tonight. And I found, as you know, when you go to a knit group, you talk and you chat and you share and that sort of thing. And I found a lot of the time that it's really hard for me to concentrate on these complicated projects. They're not complicated, they're just, you have to pay attention. So I had decided to just start something that I could take to knit group that is kind of, I don't want to say mindless, but knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, or just knitting. So I could talk and knit at the same time. And that way I'd feel a bit better about getting stuff done, you know, while I was there at the group. So I came across a project, and I had just put an order in to the gentleman at Needles at the Ready. It's Kevin and Ray. And Kevin is dyeing yarn, and I wanted to pick up one of his skeins as well as one of their bags, and you know, some of their swag. So this is their label, and I picked up a skein of Achilles sock, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and it's 462 yards for 100 grams. So that's their little logo there. And this one is in Florals for Spring, groundbreaking. And I just adored this colorway. Now, granted, we're going into the opposite equinox here in the Northeast, but I don't knit by the seasons. You know, I don't knit by the seasons at all. So I can just pick up whatever color that I fancy and work with it. So, but anyway, this is what this is looking like. I am making tell you what I'm making here. The Sockhead hat by Kelly McClure. This is a free pattern, God bless her, and it comes in 8 sizes, from baby to extra large, which I think is great. And it's literally this piece of paper. And she has another, you know, there's another part of the pattern that comes with this, which I think explains more of the technique and whatnot, but this is basically the recipe. And this is how far I've gotten so far. And truly, this is something that is really good for knit groups, as well as, you know, those final hours before you go to bed and you can't concentrate on anything else except for the TV or a podcast, and you just want to knit on something. So this is knit 2, purl 2 ribbing, and that goes on for a while, and then it goes into stockinette for a good length of time, and then it's just decreasing down. And it's a slouchy hat, which I like, so that's good. But very pretty. It's a pretty colorway, and I'm enjoying it a lot. So yeah, Sockhead hat by Kelly McClure. Yeah, check it out. If you have a skein of sock yarn that you think would look better on your head than on your feet, that's definitely a good project for that. And then lastly, I just want to show you something I got this book from the Woolly Thistle, and I told you I got the Catona from Jimmy Bean's Wools, and they also sent me a little brochure, little teaser in the package, and this is from Rowan Festive Knits. So this is their patterns for the fall and for holiday and whatnot, and I fell in love with this this kind of coffee, tea cozy, yeah, French brewed coffee. And so, and I really thought that looked really great. There's other things in here that are also good, but I won't bore you with them now. So I had to buy the yarn from that, but I will show you that at a different time. But I wanted to share this booklet with you. It's called Sail Away. This is from Jimmy Bean's as well. All Malabrigo patterns in here. But there was one that I thought was absolutely stunning. And this is called the Low Stuff Pullover. So that's crocheted. Absolutely gorgeous, I know. And yeah, so I thought that's just stunning. These are all by the same designer, I believe. Lena Fedotova. Lena Fedotova. Here's a shawl. Gorgeous. Just gorgeous. And then a nice cowl. And this is a kind of a striped number for the summer. And let me see, is there, oh yeah, here's a nice little Dunwich cardigan, they're calling this. Let me turn to the right page here. That's also nice. A little drop shoulder there. Great, so much more to look through and partake in. And oh, here's a Holcomb Snood. So there's that. So that is Sail Away booklet by Lena Fedotova, and it uses Malabrigo yarn. So thought I'd share that with you guys. And I believe that's all I have for this time around. Like I said, I'm going to put the footage in from Meredith, New Hampshire, the sculpture walk, as well as the Taste of Vermont footage as well at the end here. So stay tuned if you'd like to see that. And until the next time, take care of yourselves, keep crafting, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.
Doing a lot of panel pull-ups. I just got a big vacuum seal table Because even these, I always laminate something together because I've noticed if you CNC into a piece of ink board or something thicker, it'll work. Because you're CNCing down.
Like I told Mona, I'm going to miss Mary at the craft show. She enjoyed them so much.
Started crocheting and then picked up knitting this summer.
That's a really